I began today, before my prayers, hearing the sublime beauty of the music of Johann Sebastian Bach in his St. Matthew's Passion. It is impossible to hear that passion in which the power of the Spirit that we have experienced as the gospel of the Passion has been proclaimed to us, and we have been brought by the Spirit into the reality of Jesus' journey. It is impossible to hear Bach render that spirit in music without being deeply moved. For it comes from a time in which suffering and pestilence and war was a way of being. I've been looking at the death records for St. Paul's, stretching all the way through the pestilence of the Second War and the First War, for those wars are pestilential, through the Spanish flu, and to see, not yet 100 years ago, how common it was for life to be difficult, for people to be buried at all different kinds of ages. Bach knew that. The world was a place of danger, and yet his songs, his music are filled with the great confidence of knowing that the resurrection is even bursting through in the midst of heartache. Kommt ihr Tochter, helft mir klagen. Come, doctors, daughters, help me lament. Behold who? A bridegroom. Who? A lamb. Behold his patience. Look where? At our guilt. See him, out of love and graciousness, bear the wood of the cross himself. O innocent lamb, slaughtered on the trunk of the cross, patient at all times. However you were scorned, you have borne all sins. Otherwise, we would have to despair. Have mercy on us, O Jesus. So, the confident prayer, have mercy on us, O Jesus, fills the music that sounds strange to our ears. For having passed through the century of horrors, the century that the enlightened ones had told us would be the time of the triumph of reason and of science, freed from the chains of that old dogma and doctrine of God, human beings could achieve their freedom. They could achieve health. And what has happened? Slaughter, wars, Auschwitz, genocide, Nagasaki and Hiroshima, untamable nuclear waste visited upon the planet, Chernobyl. What has happened? Belching pollution. What has happened? Butchery in Burundi and Rwanda. What has happened? Constant war. What has happened? Technology that alienates. What has happened? Hell has happened. And the cry of Jesus, my God, why have you forsaken me?" which is a prayer cry, becomes the emptiness of despair and depression and silence. The response of this enlightened world is, and you see it all over the place. It used to be only limited to student newspapers who would parrot the new insights that they were given by their brilliant professors and write all kinds of wonderful, brilliant essays mocking the faith of their parents. Now it's everywhere on the internet. This smarmy, diagnosed or not even diagnosed depressives dismiss God, write him off, and like Sartre, say that it's all absurd and mock the emptiness and live in hollowness. There's a difference. There's a difference between those who observe, those who detach, those who look upon as an idea the sufferings of others, the sufferings of Jesus, from those who engage. We've become, in the midst of our horrors, a society of onlookers. We render all the brutality as entertainment. We engage it through technology. And what happens? We're bored. Boredom is our condition. We're bored because we become detached from ourselves. We're bored because we don't know what it is like to be with others. We're bored because God doesn't figure into the woof and warp of our spirit. We're bored because we become detached from creation. We're tasting that boredom right now. We're tasting the consequences of living detached lives, of being a people who only look on. What's the wisdom of the world in the face of this virus that now crowns us? Wash your hands and do not touch your face. Do not touch. Are we not tasting the hell of not touching? Have we left our elders in nursing homes and tried to house our homeless in the past so that they don't interfere with our commerce? Have we not created a world that now we taste, a world of not touching the inconvenient, the suffering? We've left whole continents unattended. An African war has chewed up millions of people, chewed them up. Millions of brothers and sisters. Why this war? Where the fuel? It comes from our need for precious metals to power our computers and our new devices that we think will save the planet. And if the cost of saving the planet and of our computers is a village or 2 or 20 or 200 or 2,000, well, is it not better for them to die so that we can save the planet? We have built what we are tasting now, a touchless, terrified, bored world. In yours, in my silence, have we touched with the phone and our voice the ones who we really don't want to talk to? If we cannot do it in our families, how can we do it in the world? God touches. God embraces. God dies. God rises. God is not boredom. God is spirit and fire and freedom. Will we enter into his entering into our suffering? Will we awaken to move from being onlookers who just wave palms and write posts to being with him passionately? Will we return, when all is done, to our normal boredom and our normal social distancing? Or will we cast off the shackles of sin and distance and pray, connecting with God, and love, recognizing and walking with the suffering and the poor, and dance, enjoying and treasuring the gift of creation as the Creator's gift, and be quiet, caring for our deepest selves by praying in the God who touches, who embraces, who lifts, who blesses, who sends us out. We will no longer be people of boredom, but people of passion.